This is what it's come down to, folks. Yes, I'm wearing a Cardinals fucking football helmet now. Bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotten
This shit,
sad in the NFL, hasn't it?
yeah, it's gotten sad. I bought a fucking football helmet. Football helmet, that is. The NFL's fucking rigged. And in this stream, hopefully, we'll show you some evidence along the way of what we're talking about, which is what I intend on doing. Regardless if I get copyright claimed by the NFL, I don't care. Fuck them. But before I forget, Doctor, what's up? Roll the intro.
We love our home, and if you don't, pack your bags, you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split you. Wave goodbye to Joe.
The hell's the other thing? That's the outro. Oh, here it is.
World is full of clowns, they're all stupid and they're proud. Painted smiles on their mouths. I don't hang with bozos, homie, I can't be around.
It's been a while since I've had to play that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, October was the last one, right?
Yeah, I think.
Or was it September? I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, it might have been September, actually, yeah.
Point is, we took the entire holiday season off. It's now February 1st, everybody, and we're back.
Yeah.
And now I'm wearing this fucking thing on my head.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you been? Apparently, I'm mentally ill. Apparently, I need a helmet now.
Well, like I've said off air there, things are well. Doing
Yeah.
quite well. Settled in, sort of, you know.
But the NFL's not well.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, they're hemorrhaging fans. There's so much, like, I know that it's people will say, "Oh, it's trivial because it's sports," but see, the problem is that it for a lot of people it actually isn't trivial. For a lot of people, it's actually their main focus, and it's very, very emotionally intense for lots and lots and lots of people. Now,
Yeah.
does it have to be that way? Should it be that way? Well, whatever. That's a philosophical debate, but it is. Okay. It is important to millions of people.
Yeah.
And trivial or not, in the grand scheme, the arguments about what's going on here, which exploded after the last, set of championship games here.
Well, mostly after the Chiefs game, though.
Yeah, no, I know. That's my point. Like, especially after the Chiefs game, people were absolutely furious. It was like a damn firestorm erupted online about just like, why does this shit keep happening? Why does the NFL not have a concerted effort to officiate carefully,
Well, they don't give a
and
fuck
stop
anyway.
hiring fangirls of the Chiefs as refs and having,
Fangirls.
yeah, I mean, literally, that's all they really are, and it sadly shows every damn time because they get controversial calls, and people are like, "What the hell is this?" Like every game, they get controversial calls to go in their favor. It ends up, in some cases, we've seen damn near handing them games, and they shouldn't be wanting that to happen. They should be mad about that too. But it's like every time the fans say, "Hey, that looked like BS," they go, "Oh, well, we're not biased. We're trying our best." It's like, yeah, we know you're trying your best to have the Chiefs win. We know.
Yeah,
But-
and just to have Taylor Swift fucking appear at the Super Bowl.
And
but
look, this isn't even, again, if you go back a couple of years, in all honesty, I've never hated the Chiefs, and I still don't hate the Chiefs.
I don't hate
Okay.
the Chiefs directly. I just hate what the fuck the NFL is doing with them.
What I hate is the apparent bias in the officiating, and the fact that it seems like they cannot ever let any of these other teams. It seems like none of these other teams can ever get a chance, and it's so depressing to sit there and watch the same teams over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, we want to see somebody else get in the Super Bowl for a change. Can we have that happen, please?
But with that said, we should specifically get into the two games in question that have created all of this fucking mess, right?
Yeah, sure.
So first and foremost, the division round game. The Kansas City Chiefs versus your team, the Houston Texans. Which, coincidentally, we were out with our family watching that game at a local restaurant here in Arizona at that point, too, to celebrate our uncle's birthday.
Yep.
But...
And I was very pleasantly surprised that the Texans won. I did not think they were going to pull that off.
Against the Chiefs?
No, the wild card game was what was on when we were out.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, no, they actually won the game, and I was like, wow, that they were an underdog there. They were not supposed to pull that off, and they did. They really did.
Yeah.
And so I was really hopeful. I was like, oh, wow, I guess they really could do this, But then the next round came after that.
But then the Texans had to play the Chiefs and the referees.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So let's get into that right now. So as we well know, the Chiefs won 23-14. But there were a bunch of questionable calls throughout that game that obviously all went the Chiefs' way because fuck everybody except the Chiefs. And that's apparently the way NFL officials and apparently Roger Goodell's office feel about it, apparently, because anytime Roger Goodell is asked about the referees, you know what he says?
Yeah. He plays it off every chance he gets.
It's not even that. It's worse than that. He goes, they're doing a great job. Oh,
yeah, no, I know.
So
that's what I mean.
On it too, then, Commissioner. Okay. Thank you for finally admitting that.
Yeah, that just
without admitting it.
He either doesn't pay attention or he has no actual fan friends or anybody that's on the outside looking in.
Willing to bet that he's completely out of touch with everything because a couple of years back, maybe 3, maybe less, I don't remember, but he was asked about the business relationship with EA over Madden and how the Fix Madden thing on Twitter at the time, as it was called, was trending #1 or trending however high it was. And he was asked about it, and at the time, Roger Goodell, tone deaf as fuck, said, the working relationship with EA has never been better. Oh, really?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Tell that to the pissed off sports gamers who are pissed about the condition of Madden for the last 20 years. I don't know at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not. That's not been good either. Madden has been getting progressively worse and more boring and not different at all.
And now we have College Football 25 to play. So now we literally can tell with our wallet, finally, with a football game that can compete with Madden. By the way, it's also an EA game. Figure that out for a minute.
Yeah.
To tell Madden to go fuck itself.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the Chiefs-Texans game. What was the worst play from that game in favor of the Chiefs? I don't remember at this point because...
Well, I mean, I got to see highlights, so I mean, I didn't get to see that game wall to wall. But I feared in my head what was going to happen. And I was like, oh, there's no way the Texans are going to get to down the Chiefs. Nobody gets to down the Chiefs, let alone them. So.
Well, as you can see by the screen, we're going to be looking at the Chiefs-Bills bullshit in just a minute here.
Sure. Well, the Chiefs versus Bills was the big headliner matchup this past week.
Yeah.
And that was the one that erupted into a firestorm. There was a catch call there, which was game-changing, which was also questionable.
Yeah.
Well,
there was at least 3 there.
Yeah,
in
no,
that
I know.
game.
It was more than one. Yeah.
Which, by the way, obviously the Chiefs won 32-29. That was a much closer fucking
Correct.
game.
And that's also part of why this was so painful for so many people.
And I'm not even a Bills fan, but I do have a Bills jersey with Doug Flutie's name on it in my closet hanging up. And I would have loved to have worn that to our uncle's Super Bowl party, or at least brought it with while wearing my Cardinal shit like I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
Just to wave the Bills shirt in Uncle's face going, this is who should win the Super Bowl. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm wearing Cardinals, but this is who I want. Wave the shirt in front of his face. Well, no, I can't do that because the Bills got fucked over. But
Yeah.
with that, let me try to find the place where that sneak took place. It's got to be... fuck, ad bullshit. At least it's muted, you know? So while I'm waiting for that, let me take a look at the chat here. Okay. There's nobody there.
Yep.
So, as we were saying, there were 3 plays in question in this game. First and foremost, there was a pass that the refs called an interception for the Chiefs, or something like that. Meanwhile, the Bills receiver had control of the ball, but the ball did touch the ground. However, the ball didn't move. So either it should have been incomplete or a completion, not a fucking interception, which the refs called it as and gave the ball to the Chiefs. And what the Chiefs do? Went right down the field and scored a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. That was
No, I wasn't watching the game at that point yet because I was hesitant to watch the game because I figured it was going to be rigged, and the refs didn't let me down.
Yep.
Because I felt the game was going to be rigged, and it was more rigged than I thought it was going to be. And then there was a third down play right before the fourth down one in question that we're going to look at in just a minute here, in which the Bills player clearly got the first down on third down, but the refs didn't call it that way. They called it fourth down. Then the Bills went for the QB sneak, and, well, okay, that's not the spot in question. I believe it's out here. Fucking ads.
Didn't even get to watch any of the video before the ads come up again.
No, we don't. I'm just trying to find fucking bullshit here.
Yeah.
And then I get other fucking bullshit. But the point we're trying to make here is simply this. Last year at this time, I know I didn't make a video saying anything, but I was saying to countless people before last year's Super Bowl, before the Chiefs won their second straight Super Bowl, that the Super Bowl was going to be rigged and the Chiefs were going to win.
Yeah.
Then the Chiefs win. And then you can ask other people on the internet, because I was in other people's live stream chats saying how I said the Chiefs were going to win. Can you hear me now? Last year at this time. Now, here I am live on YouTube. The Chiefs are going to win the fucking Super Bowl because the Super Bowl's fucking rigged. They're going to three-peat, and I will be back after the Super Bowl with another live stream, regardless if the Chiefs win or lose the Super Bowl, to talk about it. And if I'm right, the Chiefs win, then you will hear me say, not I told you so, but simply, can you hear me now? Just like last year. Deja vu all over again here. Bro?
Yeah. my point I had made going back 2 years actually was that the Super Bowl win by the Chiefs 2 years ago was a cheap victory by really extreme clock playing. And I always felt that win that they got there was simply because they shut down the Eagles' ability to even get the ball back. They didn't get the Eagles to fail. They didn't give them a chance to fail. Now, granted, people will say, "Oh, well, that's just being dominant in a football game." And I'd say, "Yeah, but that's not actually defeating the other team. That's playing keep away with the ball." Okay. That's not giving them the
Okay.
ball and showing the fans how much more dominant of a team you are
Okay, so
by
it's
stopping them. They didn't
it's-
do that.
it's at the beginning of the video then. Okay.
Now, last year
I was at the wrong end of it.
last year's Super Bowl win by the Chiefs, I was less offended by because I felt like, yeah, whatever, they just basically steamrolled them, and it wasn't all that, like, it was a legitimate, just, an ass kicking. So I was just like, whatever, no surprise. But this Super Bowl coming up right now, I'm just like, I don't really even care. Nobody cares. I mean, because
there was
it's
the
not
face
like-
mask on Hunt there. Yeah.
it's not like the Eagles are, starving. They just won it in 2018. It wasn't that long ago. And a whole bunch of teams that are starving for a Super Bowl victory have all been blocked out of it. And the Chiefs are about to three-peat a freaking Super Bowl victory, which is a first in NFL history. And if they do, I'd be like, well, yeah, of course they would, I'd just be,
Yeah.
completely passé about the whole thing.
Okay, so
I have
that's
no-
not the video.
I have no positive emotions whatsoever about the whole situation. It's all just a shame and boring, honestly boring. I mean, I might giggle a bit if the Chiefs don't win. That will make me kind of laugh a bit because I think it'd be funny if they don't.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have no feeling for this Super Bowl coming up here at all, really. If the Chiefs win, I'll just be like, yeah, whatever. Figures.
Still trying to find an actual clip.
But every team I would actually have pride watching play and would want to see win are all eliminated already. So all the interesting options are all gone already. It's not interesting. It's just one more damn boring Super Bowl again. No matter what happens in the game. I mean, it could be an electric freaking football game. It could be like legitimately a good game, and I still wouldn't be that interested in it. But that's where I'm at with it. So
Okay, this should work right here. Hopefully this will illustrate what we're talking about here with it. I do believe the white line there they're showing is the first down marker. Right?
yeah.
And that's clearly showing that Allen got past it and got the first down. But here's the thing. The ref who had the best angle on the ball was running up on the first down line, therefore saying that it was first down. The guy behind Allen's back who couldn't see shit was saying it wasn't a first down. And which ref did they listen to? The one that couldn't see shit.
Yeah. Question mark I have is why is the one who clearly couldn't see shit even making a call?
All of this boils down to the NFL has questionable officiating that makes it look like the entire NFL is rigged. The Chiefs have the Taylor Swift thing going on, so the NFL wants her in the fucking Super Bowl. And all of it boils down to questionable refs, league offices, Roger Goodell's offices, that is, do not give a fuck. Therefore,
Sure, for whatever reason, they've convinced themselves that for ratings' sake, the Chiefs have to be there, and they also have to win.
but the problem is that when people like you and I call this, we've been calling out the referees for fucking years now, right?
Sure, it's been at least 20 years since we've had legitimate, respectable referees doing their jobs
No, but
well,
I'm talking about.
during the season and playoffs.
But what I'm talking about is you and I here on YouTube for years have been calling out the referees, even when we weren't even trying to talk about sports.
Oh, yeah, because sometimes it was pretty sad and blatant and stupid.
Yeah. And now, after this, I see Pat McAfee calling them out, even Rob Gronkowski and Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
And,
And my point about it is, like, can we not get it together? Like, are they not watching the same game that we all are? Like, what's the problem here?
Apparently not.
Like, are they watching something different than everyone in the audience is watching? Like, I just don't understand. I understand every team has its fans, and every team's fans want things to go one way or another. I know that. But I don't have a dog in this race, and I'm seeing shit calls left and right.
Yeah.
I don't care whose the call goes for. It could go for the Chiefs, it could go for the Eagles, or it could go for the Bills, it could go for whoever. I don't care who it goes for. What I care is it accurate?
But the biggest problem with
And sometimes it just really is way off of reality, and they can't justify it on a slow motion replay, then it's a bad call.
But the biggest problem with that play as it was called, though, is simply this. The refs gave it to the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why my screen's frozen, but the timer says that we're still live, so whatever. So we're just going to keep talking here. But in the meantime, let me see if I can reach. No, that's way over there. I'm going to have to turn the PlayStation on to monitor the stream to see what the hell's going on here. But as it currently stands, the whole situation with that game, if the Bills had gotten a first down, they could have gone and scored a touchdown and could have won the game. But instead, the Chiefs got the Bills. We know they scored a touchdown and tied the game, and then they went to kick a field goal later to win the game. So the refs handed the game to the Chiefs at that point. That's the problem here. And that's why we have the problem here.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the problem of, I don't know why we're frozen on my screen here. But it does look like we have a viewer right now. So maybe we're still live. I'm not sure. I'll know in just a second here. This here. Hopefully we are still live right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we are. Just for whatever reason, my camera is frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Yeah, it's just the camera that's having issues. So I'm just going to have to be off camera now. Fuck it. I don't care then. So we are still live. Whatever.
Uh-huh.
So let me mute that right now. So I can at least monitor if we're still live or not. So on that note, to answer the question, even though we already did earlier, is the NFL rigged? It certainly looks like it. It certainly looks like it. And the NFL isn't giving us any reasons to not assume that it's
Okay,
that it's
so
not.
the evidence here is like this is what we know, okay? We know that many of the refs, it isn't just one or two, it's quite a few of the refs.
Hey,
Are-
the things are finally in my ears.
Quite a few of the refs are openly fans of the Chiefs. And they're not, in some cases, not shy about it. Like,
Yeah.
they've gone for autographs after games. That's fangirl type shit.
Of the players
Yeah,
in
of
the
the
game that they were reffing, yeah.
Yeah.
Which they're not supposed to do.
Like, I get the emotion that those guys have about players and teams, and that I understand the passion that they have for their job. I get
Yeah.
all of that,
Yeah.
but they have to be impartial. It cannot be fangirling about a team or a player and expect us to think that you're being fair with us with the calls when we know you wouldn't be.
Which is why
At
there
that
are
point.
so many memes of Patrick Mahomes kissing referees. Hell, there's even footage of a referee helping Patrick Mahomes up. Legit footage of it.
Uh-huh.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. And so it's a simple request that fans have about all this. And it's like, look, if we have an important game, we don't want refs to put on a set of blinders and just call everything for the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
No.
We want them to look at the play, carefully decide, and have it look like a good call. It's not hard to make good calls. The fans are always making good calls because they're always sensible about what happened. Whereas these refs are just in la-la land sometimes, going, oh, no, he didn't get across. Oh, no, that's a fumble. Oh, no, that's a catch. You know, like they can't justify it when it comes. You know, I know it's Monday morning quarterbacking for sure sometimes, but if you have the whole fandom against you on both sides of the ball and they're all like, yeah, that was questionable. See, that's where you failed. Okay. There is no point in having human refs there if the human refs are going to make gross mistakes.
And
Or
speaking of
worse, they're going to
gross
make calls that are
mistakes-
deliberately biased.
And speaking of gross mistakes, and since we're splitting hairs of the referees here, we might as well go all the way in. The Vikings game, in the end zone, face mask, not called. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, a non-called face mask is ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Like, what the hell? You just going to let guys do that now? I mean, come on, man.
And then...
Why
and then,
even have the rule if you're going to not enforce it? That's what pisses everybody off.
And then
Like,
also in the Chiefs game, that roughing call on the Bills against Patrick Mahomes in which he slid and gave himself up, and the two Bills collided over him. They didn't even touch him. Not really.
Uh-huh.
That's roughing. The Bills roughed each other more than Patrick fucking Mahomes.
Yeah. And I just see constant and it looks like bias. There's no other word to say.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And it makes the NFL look rigged up and down throughout the entire season and playoffs the entire time.
And whenever there's anything like whenever they do hit him, you know what I mean? Whenever he does get hit, like Patrick Mahomes, when he does get hit, it's like the refs are like offended by it, and they're like flag. You know, I'm just like at a certain point, the game is a contact sport.
Yeah,
but it also has rules, and if you can't enforce them at one moment and then not enforce them later.
If everybody who will see this on YouTube thought that Tom Brady was protected, ha 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 ha.
Well, he was, and he was the golden boy, but he's not in the NFL anymore. So.
But this is making the referees that protected Tom Brady look like they didn't give a shit about his well-being.
Well, I'm just saying
Right?
that. Well, here's the thing, though. When Tom was around, they focused on helping Tom win games. They focused
Yeah.
on protecting Tom Brady at all costs
But it
and making
wasn't
calls.
as outrageous and it wasn't as blatant as it is right now.
No, I know,
with the
and
Chiefs.
They didn't openly fangirl at nearly as much as they do now.
Yeah.
So it's just like they don't even give a shit anymore.
Yeah, they
And-
don't give a shit that Roger Goodell is, well, and it's also Roger Goodell's fault that he looks like he doesn't give a shit about the integrity of the Shield that he constantly preaches about.
Yeah, well, he's in an echo chamber where everything is good and nothing is going wrong and everything's fine. And the reason that he's in that echo chamber is because it's a money thing for his organization. If the money's rolling in and the viewers are still watching, that's all he gives a shit about. And if he doesn't see any problems from the ad department or from the, the ratings people and says,
Right.
"Oh, well, we're making money and we have people watching, so what do I care?"
But here's the
That's
problem.
his attitude.
Here's the problem, though. This keeps up long enough, people will stop watching. The ratings will go down drastically. And when that happens, guess what will happen? Advertisers will pull out of the NFL. NFL will lose money. Then Roger Goodell will be sitting there going, "What's happening? I don't know why everybody's leaving. It's your fucking fault, asshole."
Yeah, no, and at times it seems like the referees don't actually know the rules of the game. And
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I miss the replacement refs because they were better.
yeah, no, we were all scared that the replacement refs were going to be bad, and it was actually an improvement. It was so silly.
It wasn't an improvement at the time with that Seahawks-Packers game, if you recall.
Sure, there was
But
bad ones, but there's
as
many
it
bad
turned
ones
out-
with the regular refs,
yeah.
too.
But as it turned out, when the original refs came back and they started fucking up, then people like me and Nord started going, I miss the replacement refs because we knew they were bad the entire time.
That's what I mean. Like, our expectations were super low for the replacement refs, and they were
Yeah.
actually surprisingly not as bad as we thought they'd be.
And as it turns out now, they're surprisingly better than the ones we got now.
The regular ones are actually
So
really just horrifying.
So hashtag restore the replacement refs? I don't know at this point. Maybe if we get replacement refs back, the Chiefs won't be in the Super Bowl, and teams that deserve to be in the Super Bowl, who actually played really good throughout the season, not just won because of the referees like the Chiefs, would be in the Super Bowl like, I don't know. And I hate fucking saying this, the Washington Communists versus the Bills.
Yeah, no, I found myself rooting for them to win, and I was like, okay, well, I think the organization is a bunch of clowns. But,
Yeah. In the case of Washington, yeah.
Yeah, but still, they were an underdog and surprisingly good, especially in the back half of the season.
And they went to the NFC Championship, surprisingly.
Yeah, it was a shock to a lot of people.
Now,
that they ended up being that good.
If they go back to the Redskins name, then I will be happy to pull for them at that point,
Oh yeah, no, I wish they would. It's all very silly that they ever changed it.
Yeah. I keep hearing from Native Americans that I know that they want the name back.
Yeah, no, I know some too that personally that would like the name to be returned.
Yeah.
Because deleting their representation is not something that they wanted.
That's not inclusive, NFL. That's exclusive, which means you look like the racists in the room.
Well, I mean, especially when it wasn't done in disrespect in the first place.
No, in fact, the family of the individual who was the model for the logo have been pissed the entire time that they took away the logo and censored it and fucking everything.
Yeah, and the legacy of that it's like they erased the legacy of a Native American in the name of not offending Native Americans. Like, what? Does that make any damn sense to anyone?
That's like a cheerleader sleeping with the football team
What that whole shit boils down to is a whole bunch of people who don't take sports seriously were looking at it going, you can't use a race as a football team logo because that's offensive because this is trivial and you can't trivialize them. It's like, this not trivial. Okay? This was very important to them for a long time. And now that it's been removed, it's actually, I mean, we're all talking about it, so there is that.
Yeah.
But how does that help them? I don't get that. Yeah, it helps Native Americans to completely erase all reference to them. What are you, Andrew Jackson? What the hell happened here? I mean, the logic does not follow with me, because you don't help Native Americans by erasing them. What the hell? That's like the one thing that you'd be critical about would be erasing Native Americans. Isn't that what the horrible racists who killed all the natives were doing? Erasing them?
Camera's working. No, nope.
I'm just saying, like,
frozen.
Isn't erasing Native Americans racism? I mean, not to get on the Redskins thing again, but what's more racist, erasing them or celebrating them? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Including them in our references and our sports teams and our culture, or excluding them and erasing them? Which one's more racist? Because I'm pretty sure erasing them is a racist. More racist.
I was saying that from the very beginning.
And yeah, it's just stupid woke shit that needs to finally come to a merciful end. And maybe thankfully is, but we'll see.
And at the time, I was living in Minnesota, so I had to be careful who I said any of that to, because everybody around me, I mean everybody that I knew in Minnesota, was celebrating, going, yes, finally, they got rid of it. And in my head, I'm like, fuck, is everybody racist around me?
Yeah, and like, retardedly so also. Really stupidly.
Apparently they were.
Like, not a really well thought out argument, honestly.
Yeah.
And none of them are natives, so like, what the hell? Can we just like ask the audience of natives what they think? Instead of being white liberals that talk for every minority for them or something? Why is that?
Welcome to the underground, everybody. If you don't like this conversation, well, that's on you.
I'm saying, here's the thing. People who, just like with video games, like we've talked about before, people who do not consume and are not longtime fans of a series cannot come along and actively, functionally, and meaningfully contribute without being integrated by the gatekeepers. Okay?
Yeah.
There has to be gatekeeping on culture. You can't just have any person come in there and say, well, I've never been a fan of the series, but I'm going to go ahead and write a freaking show or write a freaking game script, or I'm going to do writing for something just because I'm a writer and I think I'm important. No, that's not. The people who wrote great content for games, movies, television shows were people passionate about the show, about the game, about the content, not passionate about themselves and passionate about their own personal political leanings. That's not what made games and movies and entertainment great. What made it great was people who cared about the content of the actual program, not just inserting themselves and inserting their own bullshit into it. Now, I didn't mean to get off on all that because we were talking about the NFL, but
yeah,
I just feel like it's just one more symptom of the whole freaking cultural problem we have here. You get refs losing the plot. The plot is not to go out there and be a fangirl ref and just, fall in love with the idea that you're an NFL ref. No, do your job, dude. I mean, if you're going to have passion for making good calls, instead of having passion for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, because you're not a paid fan, you're a paid referee.
Yeah, I was gonna play that Star Wars thing that you sent to me, but I don't have it here because I had to re-upload everything when I had to log in. Like when I went to do my last reaction video,
Oh, yeah.
so I don't have that here right now. I have to find it in my files on my computer somewhere.
Yeah, no, I for this particular one, I should have made. You talking about the Joe Pesci one?
Yeah,
Yeah, I should have made one. I should have made one where it shows the Super Bowl with the Eagles versus Chiefs again, and
Yeah.
him saying, "What the fuck is this piece of shit?"
yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been helpful for this.
Yeah, that would have been proper because that is pretty much everybody's reaction.
Either way, my honest reaction to Eagles and Chiefs in the Super Bowl, or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in general, regardless of who they're playing, is simply this.
You serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been sad.
Mm-hmm.
And God, it's always got to. I mean, look, maybe they need to shuffle the teams or something. I don't know. Maybe they need to move some teams into other divisions or something. You know, I mean,
Or add a bunch of expansion teams.
well, expansion teams won't necessarily solve the problem of fangirling refs.
Sure.
What it would do though is it would allow the
Shuffling
threshold-
around of teams.
it would allow there to be a different set of teams eligible for matchups. Like they'd be facing other teams than ones they usually face.
Yeah, so I think we should close with, where do you think an NFL expansion team should get placed?
Well,
Let's have this be
the
the final
Saints
part
and
of the stream.
Falcons division could use some change.
So why don't we just add a team to every division?
Well, usually when they
in
do,
our little discussion.
yeah, when they do expansion teams, they like to do, they like to keep it even. So
Yeah, so let's keep it even. Let's add an expansion team to every division. So let's start in the NFC North. We already got the Lions, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Bears. Let's have an expansion team in Iowa.
yeah,
Because the Iowa Hawkeyes are very big. You know?
yeah, and see, well, that's actually one of the things that's the trouble for the NFL is that college football has really sucked all the oxygen out of a lot of the places where they could place as an expansion team.
And that's also the NFL's fault with all the rigging shit, too. That more people are going to watch college football now, too.
Because we both know there's a lot of states in the United States that have no team whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Oklahoma.
But what they do have in those states is
like
very
college,
beloved college teams.
Yeah.
You'll notice that. Because Oklahoma's college teams are like top notch.
Sooners, yeah.
And the same for Iowa, the same for Nebraska, the same for Montana,
Mm-hmm.
and it just goes. The list is pretty long at this point of states that do not have an NFL team whatsoever, but they have good teams in the college divisions.
But as we're going through the divisions, as we know them in the NFL, so the NFC North, I say we put one in Iowa. How about you? For the North.
Mean, it's got to be somewhere in that area, sure.
NFC East, we got Giants. I refuse to call them Commanders. The Washington Redskins, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's arguably mostly in the Northeast, outside of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. The Cowboys realistically shouldn't even be in that division, but hey.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Whatever. But in placing a team, since we already got one in the South, in that division, how about we place a team in
You
Mississippi.
you could do an Arkansas team.
Arkansas, yeah, that's a good one.
Uh-huh.
Arkansas would get a team from us then. NFC West, our division. Cardinals, Niners, Rams, and Seahawks.
Yeah.
Well, obviously a West team.
Yeah, Utah team.
Placement. Utah?
Yeah.
All right.
They ain't got one.
I'll go with it. Because otherwise I was going to go with Idaho.
Yeah, or Idaho. Utah or Idaho, either one.
Yeah.
Wyoming's got an opening too.
NFC South, Saints, Panthers, Falcons, or Buccaneers. How about Mississippi?
Yeah, or a Georgia team. But there's the Falcons, so I mean it's kind of
The Falcons are in Atlanta.
No, I know. I'm just saying or maybe a South Carolina team, maybe.
Because the Panthers are in North Carolina, right?
Yeah. Panthers in North
Okay.
Carolina, of course.
Okay. So yeah, either
or an Alabama team, which Alabama, as you know, is completely sucked all the oxygen by college football in Alabama.
yeah. So then Mississippi is the only logical place at that point.
Yeah, I mean, not that the Alabama team wouldn't be good, because they probably would be.
They would have a great pipeline to college right there.
Yeah, one of the best.
With the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, Crimson Tide, geez.
Yeah.
You know?
AFC North, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, and Steelers.
And then Auburn, of course. I mean, yeah, it would be a great pipeline.
But as I was saying, the AFC North, Browns, Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers. How about, and I know you're going to disagree with this, but I'm only saying it because I was born there, Vermont.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's, or Maine.
Or Maine, or New Hampshire.
And if you wanted to go a little more to the south, you could do West Virginia. But admittedly, there's not a whole lot of...
The West Virginia Mountaineers?
Yeah, I mean, something like you really could do that type of theme with it. Either way,
Yeah.
I mean, whether the Maine team has a lot of possibilities if you made a Maine team, but then that would actually allow people to just be able to go away from being a Patriots fan, because that's all they have up there. It's just the Patriots. That's it.
Speaking of Patriots, the AFC East, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots division.
Yep.
So let's see.
Yeah, and maybe that's the division where you would put a Maine team, I guess. So
Maine there, and then for the North we could do Indiana, but the Colts are there though.
Yeah, they got the Colts. How
about Delaware?
New Hampshire?
Yeah, maybe. You put one in Maine for the East, and then you put one in New Hampshire for the North, because it's basically the same area.
Yeah.
The AFC West: Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs, God help us, and the Chargers.
Yeah, this is where you do have a lot of options you could do.
Yeah.
You could do an Oregon. You could do an Oregon team.
Yeah, you can, and they would have a pipeline to the Oregon Ducks at that point from college.
Oh yeah, and quite a few.
Could also do a New Mexico NFL team.
Yeah, that's another one.
I would have said years ago Nevada, but the Raiders are there now.
Yeah, it would have been previously, but yeah, they got one now. So.
Or you could send a team back to San Diego for an expansion.
Or you could make a second team out of Reno. If you wanted to have two Nevada teams, you could have one in Las Vegas, one in Reno.
Because California's got fucking plenty.
Yeah, California's not lacking in this regard.
Yeah.
California's got the same problem that Florida has.
But then your team's division, in the AFC South, we got your Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, and that one's where the Colts are kind of out of place.
Kinda, yeah.
And there should be like an Alabama or a Mississippi team.
Because if anything, the Cowboys and the Colts should switch places. If anything,
Yes, exactly. See, I've said that shit for years.
because the Texans and the Cowboys should really be in the same division. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, I know they didn't want that to be the case, but I mean, it makes sense.
but if push comes to shove, it doesn't make well. If we really want to shuffle divisions
Look,
around,
you're supposed to have. I mean, the way I see it, you should have the Cowboys in the NFC South and the Texans in the AFC South. That's what you should have.
which would mean the Panthers would have to leave because everyone else in the NFC South belongs in the South.
Uh-huh.
That being the Saints, the Falcons, and the Buccaneers.
Sure, which would leave room for you to move the Panthers to an East Division team.
Yeah. So just flip the Panthers and the Cowboys around. It's not that hard, Roger Goodell.
Yeah,
Two idiots on fucking YouTube who don't do your job can do it better for you.
Yeah, it just make it make sense is all I'm asking.
Yeah, that's never going to happen because they won't hire anyone like us to do this shit.
Uh-huh.
Because we actually have good ideas.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean they got to do something to shake it up because frankly, it's getting stale, boring, and not interesting to millions of fans at this point.
It's getting irritating to keep saying the same shit over and over again, and we keep talking about it over and over and over again, and nothing happens, which makes you not want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I know you seem to be getting nowhere about this issue.
Yeah. Don't want to talk about it no more. Don't want to watch it no more. I barely want to play a football video game anymore.
The regular season is fine. But the playoffs have just become silly. The playoffs have just become completely predictable and boring. Like, oh my God, the Chiefs won again. Oh my God, the Bills got blocked out again. Oh my God, the Lions still can't get a win, even though they're like definitely the best team in the league. Like, I don't know whose argument would be the Lions are not exactly and definitely the best team in the league.
They had
especially statistically.
They had the best record.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They are the best team in the league, and they're not there.
Yeah. The Lions deserve to win a fucking Super Bowl. Period.
Yeah, finally. For once in a... Like...
Ever.
Yeah. A century it's coming up on now?
At least.
I mean, it's getting closer and closer to the century mark since they've won, and it ain't the current era of Super Bowl. They haven't won it all.
And that was before the Super Bowl era when they won their last World Championship.
They have not won it all in the current era. So,
yeah.
And they're so good. It's like a team that, actually deserves it for once.
Mm-hmm.
Because they used to be terrible for a long, long, long time. The Lions just sucked.
All of our lives.
But they do not suck now. And they deserve a shot. And their shot has been, hitting a wall repeatedly. Same with the Bills. The Bills have been good for quite a few years now. Like a good 6-7 years now. They've been good.
Yeah.
And eligible and worthy.
And that wall they keep hitting is the NFL referees like a brick wall. Because
specifically Mahomes and the Chiefs like a brick wall. Yeah. 4 fucking times in a row.
Referees, Chiefs, they're wearing the same uniform these days.
Yeah. Well, they're on the same team. They're working together.
Yeah.
Obviously.
There's no doubt about that at this point.
It's just a basic thing. I just don't. If you're going to go out of your way to blatantly and obviously script your playoffs picture the way they seem to be scripting it all the time, why don't you script it to be more interesting, Gooder?
Take a lesson from WWE. They know how to script compelling television again.
And by the way, that's what I call Roger Goodell. I call him Roger Gooder.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't,
Roger, if you need help on how to figure out how to script something, since you're hell bent on the NFL being scripted, Go sit down with Paul Levesque, Triple H of WWE, and go out to lunch with him. Go pick his brain.
Yeah,
I promise you, it
have
will
lunch
help
with any
you.
fan, anybody who's on the outside.
Just don't invite us out to lunch because we're not going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, he probably catches shit from his own mother at this point. I mean, that's how thick it's gotten, you know?
Catching shit from your own mother. You're grounded, Roger. Anyway.
Roger, I just don't know why these games are so shitty. What's wrong with the refs? Every time he goes over to his mom's house.
Oh, I wish I could be a fly on that wall.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I don't know what it takes to get it through to the guy. The guy has a freaking problem he needs to solve.
Yeah.
And it's the interest the fans are having in watching the same thing again and again and again and again.
Yeah. Speaking of same thing again and again.
And then the worst thing about it, the worst thing I think about it all the way around is if we have to sit and watch the Chiefs win again, what we're going to have to then suffer is this bullshit conversation about them being the greatest team of all time in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, no, just no. Just no.
All I know with the Super Bowl at this point, from my point of view, is simply this. Mom and I are going over to Uncle's Super Bowl party. Have no interest in the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're only going there to hang out with Uncle and the family.
Sure. Yeah.
That's it. And to do whatever festivities that he has planned, like last year.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's
The only interest that I have in the Super Bowl is talking about it after the fact, coming on here, not if, when the Chiefs win again, and simply saying to you guys, can you hear me now? Just like I did last year.
yeah. Yeah, and I will do my best to try to pretend I didn't expect it, and then also try to combat the inevitable conversation about the Chiefs being the greatest of all time, which I think is silly.
Which means that the MVP this year for that award should be any one of the referees. Honestly.
Yeah. Suppose so.
Not Patrick Mahomes, not Lamar Jackson, not Josh Allen. Throw a dart at the dartboard with every referee's name on. There's your regular season MVP.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I got to say about that topic. So.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I have to talk about because it needed to be talked about because it's the NFL is not the NFL anymore.
Uh-huh.
It's now as rigged. Well, I can't say rigged about WWE. WWE has never been rigged. It's always been scripted.
Uh-huh.
The entire time it's ever existed. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And nobody cares because it's always been that way.
But regular
And
sports are
rightly
not
so.
supposed to be that way.
Yeah, baseball, football, especially hockey, are supposed to be legit sports. They're supposed to be like swimming or archery in the Olympics.
Sure. It's supposed to be the best win, not the most favored by the organization.
But yet, here we are in 2025, and this is the talking point for the NFL.
Uh-huh.
Just like it was last year, just like it was the year before that for us here in the underground. They say that the clinical definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, which is why after the Super Bowl...
And expecting different results.
Yeah. Which is why after the Super Bowl, that will be the last discussion about this topic that we're going to do. We're going to put it behind us and ignore the NFL on the channel going forward.
Yeah, I mean, unless something interesting happens, I mean...
I doubt it.
Yeah, it's a long shot.
So with all that said, to the 4 viewers we got, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you equally. hit the like button on your way out. That would greatly be appreciated. If you have not subbed to the channel, please do so to catch future episodes of Breaking Rocks Live. Also, please comment, and also you're welcome to say anything in the live chat at any point. We love talking to people.
Yep.
We do not live in a bubble like some people who are afraid of opposing opinions. No, we love hearing them.
Mm-hmm.
I also love hearing people tell me to go fuck myself. Because I have thick skin.
When it comes to sports, they do that, yes.
Well, when it comes to certain topics anyway, people do that.
Yeah.
I do that all the time to my buddy Ricky at work, so. But then again, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
But he's still my friend, so it is what it is. With that, we will see you guys in the next one. Be safe, be well. I don't know what the next thing will be. Hopefully we can start doing these like on a monthly basis going forward, given that my work schedule is likely going to be changing soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
So then I will have more time to do more shit during the week after work sometimes, if that's the case.
We'll figure it out
as we go. But until then, be safe, be well, God bless. And Roger Goodell, go fuck yourself. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bro, any last word?
Yeah, no, we'll just we'll see you guys in the next one. That's all I'd have to say.
Bye, everybody.
Yep.
But before I go, let me check see if my cam's not frozen. Nope, still frozen. We'll see you guys later.
Yep.
I don't know why that happened. Bye, guys.
Figure that out too. Yep.
World is full of clowns, they're all stupid and they're proud, painted smiles on their mouths. I don't hang with bozos, homie, I can't be around.
Fuck, that was the intro.
Yeah, you want to do the outro instead?
It's right. They're right next to each other now.
Uh-huh.
Here's the right one.
I will never say I'm sorry, I ain't taking nothing back. I don't care if I offend you.